If you're a lover of recon and tracking your enemies, then there might be no better legend out there than the ambush artist Seer. Seer is also known as 26-year-old Obi and has an incredible kit of abilities that all work in tandem to really create a rewarding and satisfying experience. We've got a ton to cover on Seer, from his abilities, playstyle, legend pairing, strengths, and even ranking him in the current meta of Apex Legends. Legends rarely go through fundamental changes from season to season, so as with all master guides on the channel, check out that pinned comment down below for any and all changes to Seer that might happen during a future update. If you enjoyed the content, do me a favor, hit that like button, and let's get started. At a basic level, Seer's abilities are really all about using micro drones to reveal his enemies. However, in order to use Seer's tactical with effectiveness, you are going to have to know how to use the passive ability properly. The passive ability is Heart Seeker. This ability is more or less a heartbeat sensor that can be used to locate enemies up to 70 meters away. This is triggered by using your aim down sights button either with or without a weapon drawn. At this time, a round circle appears in the center of your screen with either a yellowish orange or a blue mark. The orange mark means there are enemies within 70 meters, and the blue mark means there are enemies within visual range of you, but outside of the 70-meter range. At the same time, there will also be an audible indication as to how far away the enemy is. As you can see, the further away an enemy is, the quieter the audio cue will be. In addition to this, the lower an enemy health is, the faster the heartbeat sound will be. Here's a comparison of the difference. To go hand in hand with the audible cue, there will also be a visual indication in the middle of your screen. This will also be smaller if an enemy is further away. To locate enemies specifically, move that reticule around until the orange mark or orange lines disappears and your center reticule changes colors to be completely orange. The passive also shows up on the map when you are aiming down sights, and the final thing to take note of is that the passive has a transparent barrier or a wall that is visible at the max range of this ability. This can be nice to tell how far away an enemy is if you are trying to capture them with the passive. Also, and for some reason, Respawn loves recon legends, and Seer is indeed a recon legend, meaning he can ping those beacons on the map. Moving on, we are going to have Seer's tactical ability, which is called Focus of Attention. This ability is fully loaded with a lot of useful things, so let's start off with the basics. This tactical shoots out a scan or a wave of drones in the direction Seer is looking. This is fairly similar to a Bloodhound scan, but it needs to be directed in a much more specific area, as it shoots out in a tunnel type of formation that is about 8 to 10 meters wide. This ability goes the same distance as Seer's heartbeat sensor, which is 70 meters and has a 30-second cooldown. Enemies that are caught by Seer's tactical will be revealed and highlighted like a Bloodhound scan for 7 to 8 seconds, and at the same time will have their health bars revealed, which can be absurdly good for helping gain some intel on whether or not you should make that push. If this wasn't enough, when the enemy gets hit by this tactical, they become flashed for a brief second, their healing will be canceled, and any enemy that is getting revived will also be stopped. We are not done yet. Enemies will also get an additional 1 second of silence, preventing additional ability or healing usage, and this is somewhat similar to Revenant's Silence if you are familiar with his silence ability. Oh, and by the way, they will also take 10 damage just in case everything prior to this wasn't enough. Finally, we are going to have Seer's ultimate ability, which is Exhibit. This is a 70-meter dome which Seer can throw out onto the ground, and enemies will be tracked when they are inside of this. The ultimate has a quick 90-second timer when placed, and it will last on the ground for 30 seconds. Unlike the tactical, enemies will not be stunned and enemy health bars will not show up. Enemies will be tracked by a diamond or square on their bodies as well, rather than their full body being scanned. Also note that during this ultimate ability, enemies will not be tracked if they are completely immobile, and for Seer, there will be an enemy count on the middle of their screen as to how many enemies are detected. However, I will say if an enemy is immobile and they are shooting, this will flash track them while they are taking some shots. Lastly, the ultimate can be destroyed, so take care in where you are placing it, as in do not place it right in front of the enemy. The big thing to note about playing Seer is that all of his abilities, and more so the passive and tactical, are really all meant to work together. Let's go over a few playstyle examples to show you how to use his kit properly. But first, if you have any questions or if you just want to chat, come over to Twitch where I do stream nearly daily. I would love to answer your questions about Seer or anything else Apex related. The first thing I want to mention about Seer's heartbeat is actually that if you bring up your tactical and you hold it, you can actually move around much quicker than just holding LT aiming down sights. This way you can actually move around while trying to track people with that heartbeat. The second here is going to be an example where I am storming this building on World's Edge. I'm actually bringing up my heartbeat to see how many enemies might be in this area. I see a bunch of yellow lines, so I know that I'm getting involved with multiple teams. Second to this, you're going to notice that I throw the ultimate ability on the second floor rather than the ground floor, because I know a lot of enemies are going to be falling down to that first floor from the roof, and I do not want them to see my ultimate just sitting there on the ground. The biggest thing to really know about Seer's tactical ability is that you absolutely should be trying to tag the heartbeat on an enemy before popping that tactical. It is actually very easy to miss this tactical ability because you do need to have a little bit of finessing with the tactical ability. Remember, this ability is really only an 8 to 10 meter type of tunnel that goes out in front of you, and enemies can easily just walk out of it if you are not right on the enemy when you are placing it. The next example I want to highlight right here is actually playing off of my scan ability, the tactical. The tactical is absolutely wild for making a play when you can see the enemy. You can, 1, see their health bar, you can 2, see their bodies and where they're moving, and it does last quite a bit of time compared to actually a Bloodhound scan. So doing this, I know exactly where to go to find this enemy that is camping up in this building. I easily flank him, I get him down. The one thing you will notice here, there's actually someone camping behind the doorway that my tactical did not scan. And I just want to emphasize this right here. Do not be over-reliant on your scan. Don't get tunnel vision just trying to track one enemy down just because you do see them on that scan. The next example has all to do with the ultimate ability. I'm domed up right here. I'm going to absolutely be able to just track pretty much everyone. I see someone is actually up top after I place my dome here, and I'm just kind of waiting for them to fall down. I know there's 2 other people to the left, but what my team doesn't really know is that there is this guy above them trying to flank them. However, I am completely aware of his actions, and I'm waiting for him to fall down. He does exactly this. He falls down, and I absolutely melt him. After this, I'm just tracking the rest of the squad. They move into my dome, into my ultimate. I see the second guy, I get him down, and I can see this third guy coming around on my left. I know exactly when to corner peek this guy because, again, he's just completely revealed to me. It makes it so easy to track those enemies. The next thing I really want to hammer home here is using your tactical ability not to open a fight, but rather waiting till an enemy team is already trying to heal up. You're going to notice here, I get down to about 10 HP, and I need to heal up, but a Seer's tactical comes in and stops me from healing. This might have been the difference from us winning or losing. I only can get 2 heals off instead of 3 now, and because of that, I am not full health. I am not able to really just get ready to fight the enemy squad, and I'm going into this fight with only about 50 health instead of the 150 that I might have had. So if you already know where the enemy location is and you are able to track them, you might want to wait till they are trying to back off and heal after you make the initial push. The next has to do a little bit about countering Seer. Of course, you can stand in the middle of the enemy's ultimate, and you just won't be revealed if you're not walking around or shooting or anything. But if you do see right here, I walk outside this ultimate, and the side of my screen goes from red, and it goes away. If it is red on the side of your screen, that means you are in an enemy ultimate ability, and this I find is a little bit helpful to figure out if you are in an enemy dome, because at an end game scenario, or really any scenario, it can be a little difficult to tell if you are in an enemy ultimate ability, especially because there is a lot of Seers around right now. This is just something good to be aware of as you do approach your fights. So what legends work well with Seer? Well, first off, much like Bloodhound, pretty much every legend in the game is going to pair up well with Seer. However, there are a few recommendations I can give you. The first is the ultimate tracking combo. This is going to be Seer with Bloodhound in duos, or Seer, Bloodhound, and Crypto in trios. Seer and Bloodhound make for an incredible combo that allows an insane amount of tracking. Entering a fight, open with Bloodhound scan to find the enemies, and then hit them with Seer's tactical after that. If done properly, this will mean you will be able to track enemies for about 10 or so seconds, which is just absurd. This can also be done with Crypto and their drone, but with a little bit less effectiveness. The second combo is going to be Seer with Bangalore and Caustic. Much like Bloodhound scans, Seer can track those enemies in smoke with either their tactical or the ultimate ability. We can see a brief clip here where I am tracking this Caustic that is walking through a smoke, and I have complete visibility on him, and I am able to get him down because of this. Other than this, again, every legend is going to benefit from Seer's kit. For Arena, I want to simply mention whether or not Seer is going to be a solid pick, and this is definitely still going to be true for this mode. You only get one tactical to start off, but it's only 100 materials to pick up another, and that really isn't that bad. The Heartbeat passive works great to track enemies to make sure anyone isn't going to be ratting up on you, and the ultimate is 500, which is fairly expensive, but this is pretty much in line with the other ultimate abilities in arenas, and you do get a lot of information for the price, which I do think is going to be worth it in the long run. Much like the BR though, do not sleep on Seer for arena. So why would you play Seer? Seer is of course the most equivalent to Bloodhound due to the recon abilities of both of those legends. However, Seer can also be a pretty great aggressive playmaker, and honestly, will make a decent legend for someone who is looking to run point. The ability to track those enemies with that heartbeat sensor and then scan them with the tactical allows for a very satisfying playstyle, and because of this, I do think Seer will excel at leading the charge because he can reveal the enemies for his team. Let us briefly now talk about where Seer excels and where he might lack a little bit in the game. For starters, Seer brings an incredible amount of usefulness of tracking enemies. Again, we've said it enough. Seer might be the best legend to really tell if you need to make a push or not, since enemies' health bars are going to be revealed with his tactical, and likewise, his dome just gives an incredible amount of tracking capabilities for the whole squad that gives Bloodhound a run for their money for the best recon legend in the game. Seer's dome also means greater knowledge, which means the ability to track third-party teams entering fight, and of course, stopping a Phoenix kit or other healing items is just so good with that tactical ability. For weaknesses, and right now, the only thing I can really think of is going to be the over-reliance on Seer's side to track the enemies. But all in all, I do not really think there are many other weaknesses for Seer right now. So where does Seer stack up in the meta of Apex Legends? Well, for the first time, and I think the fastest and most confident I have ever felt with ranking a legend in Apex Legends, he's going to be the best legend in the game right now as of the posting of this video. His abilities right now can just do so much, I would even say too much. There's a ton of other legend abilities in his kit, and he can just absolutely excel in pretty much every engagement. He tracks them, stuns them, sees their health bars, and all of this really is just wild. He's a blast to play, but I think he will be getting some sort of nerf in the near future. Everything just seems dialed to 11 right now, and I think this was probably intentional so we can get our fun in before they do adjust him. Again, stay tuned to that pinned comment down below for any changes and how he is faring in the meta of Apex Legends. All in all, Seer is a welcomed addition to Apex Legends, and he brings a very satisfying playstyle for the user, which can create a rewarding experience for those using him. If you need help with any other legend, be sure to check out that playlist in the description below. If you need someone to play with or just looking to chat with someone about Apex, hop into our community Discord. Links to this, my Twitch, Twitter are all down below. And one last thing, we did launch a 24 tips to become an Apex Warlord. If you are new to the game or if you're just looking to improve your skills, I would highly recommend you check out that video. That will also be down in the description down below. I hope I see you live in the Twitch streams, and until next time, happy gaming, legends.